Okay.
What up? Hello.
So it looks like we got for Zenith and AVUltima, they have both converged upon a lizard-toad composition, which I am comfortable with because it is the polar opposite of the squirrel-mole composition.
Yes.
And
I love watching these players too. They're so good.
Deadbones in particular is one of the most entertaining players to watch.
Yes.
I think it's because he is always looking for something like new. Rather than converging upon some mathematical solution, he's trying to experiment and see like what ways does the game operate in which players have not tried before.
Are these new owls?
Yes, these are new owls. So let's
These
try
are
it
new
out.
owls.
Let's try it out. So the new owls are basically movable warrens. In a sense, they really...
And see, that was a win right there because he had to waste a toad. He
Oh.
wasted a toad, right?
That is interesting. Using owls as a way to...
As a toad soak.
Yeah. I mean, I've always used them as a landmine soak, but as a toad soak, that's fantastic. So really bringing out the story that these guys kind of create zombies.
Yeah.
The sort of like cannon fodder that you can just waste. We want to bring that to light. And so the owl is kind of fun because he can make up to 6 of these things now. And I'd really love to see this in pro play. And I hope it's not OP. Now, to balance it out, the owl has 30 health. That's less than a fox.
Right.
So the fox no longer has the crappiest stats of a tier 3.
You really do have to be able to take that owl into multiple fights. If you lose that owl in one fight,
Owl's gonna die, watch.
It's not a good unit.
Owl's gonna die.
So right there, that's a bad unit.
Watch him blow.
Oh, he got it! Yeah, that's cool.
It's like,
I like that. I hadn't seen that yet.
It's like, what is this?
That's awesome.
Okay, when you in that circumstance, if your owl is poisoned, drag him into the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
Don't run away with them. Oh, Uncle Butter, putting butter all over those units right now. Is this with the fixed aiming? AVUltima wrecked him. Oh, the owl was so good. Okay, don't make a quick conclusion. No, Deadbones, don't make the immediate conclusion that the owl is bad based off of that. No, dude.
Well, they are really weak if you lose them in one battle. You have to, like, the owl has to survive through the one battle in order to make it worth it.
And you streamed them. The owls are not good at streaming. That's 1 unit per 10 seconds. Save up 6 at mice, then fight, and then pull back, and then repeat.
Yeah.
I've also considered the idea, although I have a bit of concern with regards to how this will affect the push and pull, of reducing the build time. So it won't take 60 seconds to get a full owl, but just 30.
30 seconds, yeah. So if 1 every 5 seconds or something like that.
Which would be fun because it's actually a more unique experience in terms of unit creation.
Right.
But the worry is then we have too much streaming going on. But I think 1 every 5 is...
I think it would be okay.
Because it's still 1 per second.
Yeah, you're going to, with any sort of army at all, you'll be able to take those out pretty quickly.
And to be fair, AVUltima is right. There's no better unit to melt mice than Butters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, MacJin, that's the concern that I have as well. It takes absurdly long for it to become useful. A minute of gameplay can be about 1/7 of the match length. And it already took about 1/7 of the match length just to get the owl, because it's 30 seconds for the...
We were talking about this earlier, that the owl is probably best supported by a defensive style of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Any sort of gameplay where you're slowing things down that's going to be... The people that use owl best will be the ones that can really slow the game down.
Mm-hmm. So think about this akin to, like, in Hearthstone, like a control deck, where the idea is, or like a freeze mage. You're playing in sort of a very long-term strategy, knowing that the longer the game drags on, the better that you will be compared to your opponent, which is almost in direct conflict with this very like zoo tempo style that we always see now, which is kind of like apply aggression, knock on his doors constantly, try to end the game early. But you may want to think about how maybe being defensive can counter aggressive playstyles, especially if like it's really hard to take down a turret in the early game.
I saw Zeno playing a lot of landmines in previous games. That really at least slows down the aggression in the early game, those landmines. And then, we know that sniper balloons can be a real tough, especially once you start to get multiple sniper balloons out.
Youthful says, I love the idea of a T3 that's worked specifically for defensive gameplay. And the defensive players out there will know that when you have a lot of structures out, your army value suffers a little bit because a lot of money goes into the structures. But with owls, the units are free. So there's no better unit to support like a low-income style gameplay than the Owl.
Right.
Oh, what is this?
We got a little mole rush going on.
Okay, so is Zenith going to try to kill the turret?
Nope.
No, he's not. He's just going to go for the first pig he sees, and then...
He's going to get it. Is he going to get a second pig is the question.
Probably. Now, is this worth it?
Not if he loses all three moles.
Oh, he loses all three, so it's 3 for 2?
Yeah, plus he can sell the turrets, and...
He does buy himself time, though, because it takes 30 seconds for him to get these pigs back.
Now, I would sell that turret and get another... farm as well, although he's being careful, which maybe is wise against.
Yes. So one of the things that you might want to consider when you're playing against high aggression players like this is your farm locations kind of matter. The 2 farms he lost were the 2 farms closest to Zenith.
Right.
Meaning that if he had chose to build farms in the back of the base, it might have actually bought him enough time to only lose 1 farm rather than 2, and that can make a huge difference.
On the other hand, had he built them in the back of the farm, then maybe his turrets might not have been in the right position.
Because then they would be spread too thin.
Hey, Dexter, would you like to come on stream?
Yes.
Come on stream.
Everyone, this is Dexter.
Hi. Where am I looking?
This is the game running, and this is XSplit running. Yeah.
Great. Where are we at in this game?
Where are we at? Okay, so this is Zenith. He's Dead Bones. He's one of our best players of all time. AVUltima is a new player, but also really, really good. He came from PAX.
How did he place in the last tournament?
He was top 8.
Top 8?
Yes, but I don't remember where specifically he placed. But he's always surprising me with how good he is. And getting top 8 is no easy task.
No.
Last tournament was really hard. Like, it knocked out developers, other people that we felt very favored in the tournament, so he's done really well. So let's see what we have here. This is interesting because Zenith had a really strong early game with a bunch of aggression and took out some of his eco, but now he's playing defensively. And so the tables have turned a little bit. He's a little bit cautious, which is not normal. When usually you establish an early game lead, you typically see people play in such a way that it's constantly applying pressure and whittling down the enemy opponent. But this time he's really kind of cautious.
Sniper balloon is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Actually, with the forward defensive structures.
Yep, the sniper balloon in conjunction with the 2 machine guns is really going to make this difficult for Green to exit his base. And I don't think Green has a lot of options too.
He's kind of going for almost what could be considered contained, right?
Yeah, pretty much, because there's no exit to the south. He has to go through in this direction.
Yep. Forcing to the choke point.
Yeah, and he is forcing the fight. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of casualties here, but I think that he's trying to bet on the fact that he can bust through this,
go through it,
and he might be able to, especially because
sniper balloon's down. Yeah.
The balloon doesn't have a lot of health, and the squirrels do so much damage.
Yeah.
And they are really the perfect unit to go against this. So he busts down that contain very effectively.
Well played. It was a good gambit by Dead Bones.
Yeah,
Zenith.
Zenith loses quite a bit of army value there, but it's totally worth it because in the long term it could have been so bad for him if that contain got worse and worse. So that was some clutch decision making there, choosing to attack when most people would be too afraid to attack. And now the pressure game is on as he's bringing his units at the front door of Blue, and Blue really needs to respond to this. Let's hope that Blue gets some really good toe connections here. That's really what he's looking for, and I think that's precisely what he's going to get. He really takes on some hits in the front, but he doesn't get to the squishy squirrels in the back. That's what he really, really wanted.
Those moles are...
The moles, the mole control is terrific. Now this is a point where Green has to run because squirrels in and of themselves are a terrible unit. They really need the support of the moles, and in this case, Blue finally broke down.
So is he gonna be able to sell that?
No, it's far.
It's already built.
It's already been built. Yes, and this is where Squirrel versus Lizard. It is not a good fight for the Squirrels. AVUltima is just pushing back, and the reinforcements of the Squirrels aren't going to accomplish anything. Lysic asks, is there a place where I can read about the units? You know, I would recommend going to pocketwatchgames.com/chat, joining our Discord channel, and that will give you some information, and you can talk to the community there for more information about the units. Wow, this is a game in which Blue is ahead. AVUltima might beat Green in this case. He just needs to really pick his fights. Oh, and he beats him. Amazing. And that was not Zenith experimenting either. That was very strong Dead Bones like play.
Yeah.